Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 best remakes you can play on Nintendo Switch. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Many GBA games will never see the light of day as handheld experiences fade further and further into obscurity, at least the handheld experiences we knew from back in the day with the GBA and DS and what have you. Of Nintendo's catalog, Mario vs. Donkey Kong is one of the few to be brought forward to the modern era, and it came with some new bells and whistles. For starters, Mario can be joined by a second player controlling Toad, allowing for co-op play. Then you have the addition of two new worlds, Slippery Summit and Merry Miniland, both incorporating their own mechanics for brand new puzzles. Whether you enjoyed the 2004 original or if this is your first time, Mario vs. Donkey Kong is an enjoyable ride for speedrunners and Mario fans alike. Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. We can understand why Let's Go may not be everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone is into games based around motion controls, you know? Regardless, this is a pretty solid remake of Pokemon Yellow. One of the biggest improvements made is how battles that were once random are no longer a problem. You can now easily walk or run around pocket monsters you've already faced before, or the ones you just don't want to fight. This was a massive help in filling out the Pokédex quicker too, while also giving the player more choice in how they want to farm for XP if needed. As for the rest of the game, there was something pleasantly nostalgic about playing a new Pokemon game that still followed a more traditional level design like the original games did. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Like Pokemon Let's Go, the remake for Link's Awakening has its warranted criticisms. Really, Nintendo, why the omnidirectional movement instead of the full 360 degrees? This was made in 2019. Come on. Even so, there is still plenty to love with this game. From the beautifully rendered land of Hyrule to the simple but charming character design, Link's Awakening retains the look of the Game Boy original while taking advantage of the Switch's visual fidelity. Plus, the Mario Maker-esque dungeon builder was a welcoming addition with its own puzzles and combat challenges. Star Ocean: The Second Story R.
Do I have to remind you about all the crazy things going on since that sorcery globe crashed down on us?
In all honesty, some of you in the comments were yelling at us for not really giving this game much attention. Thanks for bringing this game to our attention because, dang, this JRPG slaps. A remake of the PS1 original, Second Story R brilliantly shows why so many adored it back in 1998. With highly detailed locations, wonderfully designed sprite work, and a brilliantly written story, this game gives us hope for Star Ocean's new future. Even veteran fans have been raving about how the pacing's improved, the voice actors portray each character well, and random battles no longer being a problem. Perhaps Star Ocean will soon explode in popularity, much like other RPGs like Persona and Final Fantasy have in recent years. Kirby's Return to Dream Land Deluxe. When talking about the Wii's best games, Kirby's Return to Dream Land often finds itself left out of the conversation. In case you never had the pleasure of playing this for yourself, the Deluxe remake does an excellent job at preserving the game while offering new ways to play. In addition to the main campaign, you will also have access to a second campaign that explains how Magolor wound up in Dreamland in the first place. You can also enjoy a wealth of fun minigames with friends in Merry Magoland, and collect prizes that can help you in the main game. Of course, you could just play this game because almost any Kirby game is a guaranteed fun time in general. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Just when we thought we would never see the Advance Wars games ever again, well, in terms of new releases, Nintendo and WayForward put together this remake of the first two games. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp reintroduces the classic GBA games with brand new visuals, voice acting, and unlockables. While you can play through the main campaigns and call it a day, Reboot Camp also offers local and online multiplayer where you can wage war with your friends as your favorite commanding officers. You can even create your own maps to play around with the game's mechanics and possibly discover new ways to challenge yourself or your friends. If you've been looking for an in to get into strategy games, Reboot Camp is the best welcome mat for you. Another code, Recollection.
Can't say for sure. It's been quite a while since I thought about it.
Nintendo showered the DS with a ton of great exclusive games, but many would get lost in the weeds. Another Code was one of those IPs. As a young girl named Ashley, you'll solve puzzles as you search for your missing father. With some reworking, Recollection preserves some aspects of the original two games while fixing up the story and redesigning puzzles to make them playable on the Switch. Plus, a brand new art style helps the games stand out from the crowd. If you miss the days of point-and-click adventure games, Another Code Recollection is well worth your time.
When I heard that, a few things suddenly came back to me. I know I was with my father when I first came to this mansion.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. We know we already put another Pokemon game on this list, but this isn't a remake of another one of the core games. The Mystery Dungeon games are much more focused on dungeon crawling and tactical combat. You'll also have to locate lost Pokemon in caves and scorched forests and bring them back to town to give them a place to stay. But the biggest mystery aside from who is causing the chaos is, why in the world did you get turned into a Pokemon? While the simple visuals may not be appealing for some, we promise you that there is plenty to love about this remake of the original DS game. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
We've been given the order to retreat. We're pulling back the line to Colony 6. That's where we'll set up the last line of defense.
We know that this is classified as an expanded remaster, but the game looks and plays so differently than the original that it may as well be a remake. In addition to bringing the original game up to the new visual standards of newer games, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is much more technically sound than the original game ever was, and it boasts better music, visuals, and UI. Not only that, it also features a special epilogue that adds brand new elements to the story while focusing on our darling Melia. So it's an already fantastic Wii game, made even better for the Switch. How can you not put this on this list?
It's amazing.
Oh, Shulk, you say that every day.
Not quite. It's always delicious, but today it's amazing.
Super Mario RPG. There was already so much to love about the SNES original. The combat, the writing, the music, the world, it all helped make Super Mario RPG such a wonderful game. Thing is that it spent decades being stranded on the SNES and only brought to Virtual Console a couple of times. So what could the Switch do for it? How about new fully animated cutscenes, completely redone music by the great Yoko Shimomura, and a new mechanic that puts greater significance on perfectly timed inputs that help expedite battles. Really, it does everything the original Super Mario RPG did and more, and it's why every single Switch owner needs to pick this one up. Have you played any of these RPGs for yourself? And are you planning to pick up Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.